Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the super important questions of BDA module 1. In this video I'll be covering those topics which are super important from exam point of view, which have been repeated more than 5 times in the previous year papers, and what are the steps you need to keep in mind, because in BDA you both have the architecture as well as the theory. Okay, so remembering the key points is a very important thing. So I'll be telling you what all you need to do to remember the key points and make the architectures in a simple format. The architectures are in a very complex format, you need to remember in a very simple format. Okay, and using which you will be able to get nice marks in the module 1 as well. Okay, so make sure hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and your support is very important for me. So let's get started. I will cover each question one by one and note down the key important points. Okay, the first question is big data and its characteristics. What is big data and what are its characteristics? So what do you understand by the term big data? Big data means a very big data. Okay, that's only the thing. Very big data will be there. It will be of high volume, high velocity, high variety, and high veracity. These four things comprises of big data. By using big data you can perform better analysis, right? If you have more data you will be getting accurate results. That is what is called the big data and its characteristics. The definition you are supposed to write is: big data is a high volume, high velocity or high variety information that requires new forms of processing, the characteristics and enhanced decision making in the insights and discovery and process optimization. For the more better results you will be using big data. That is what its definition is. And then we have the characteristics as well. What are the characteristics? There are three characteristics and they have written four, but three is only important. Volume, it relates to the size of the data. Velocity refers to the speed of generation of data. Variety refers to the categories of data or the different forms of data, and veracity refers to the quality of data. Okay, so you can give some examples for this one, like what is the volume means in GB or terabytes it will be there, where all big data is generated. All those things will be adding up to the filling of answer script. Okay, so that was about the first super important question, big data and its characteristics. Next is structured, semi-structured, multi-structured and unstructured data. So what do you understand by the term structured data? Structured data means it will be in the form of tables, and it will be having the data is in the rows and the columns. That is only called as structured data. What about semi-structured data? Semi-structured data, it is not purely in the form of tables, but there will be tables and some kind of such things like XML and JSON. It also has the commas and all, and the brackets will be made like flower brackets for the JSON and all. Those things will be there. Okay, that is called as semi-structured data. Multi-structured data will consist multiple formats of data. Okay, that's all what you have to remember. Unstructured data, there is no structure in that. You will be having just writing it simply like text or CSV. In that you will not be having any data. You'll be just typing it simply. There will be no table, there will be no format. Okay, that's called as unstructured data. Very important question from exam point of view. Next super important question: what are the 5 layers of data architecture? In 5 layers, the first layer is the identification of internal and external sources of data. In all of the things, first you need the data, then only you will be processing it. That forms the first layer. So where all you can get the data from? You can get the data from the sources of ignition, databases, file or the web servers, or it can be in the form of structured, semi-structured or unstructured data for ingestion. Okay, ingestion means processing. The next layer is the same thing, which is the processing of the data. Once you have got the data, you will be starting to process it. Before processing, you need to do the ingestion and acquisition. Means you will be removing the unwanted data and keeping the data which is only relevant ones. Okay, like for example, data semantics, replace, aggregate and append, and you will be validating it, transforming it and so on. These are the terms which you have to mention in the answer script, and this architecture you have to make it as false only. You can't make it in the form of your own words. Why? Because these things have the mark. Okay, you have to write these boxes and write something inside that, but make sure you make these 4 boxes, 4 boxes, 3 boxes, 4 and 4 boxes. Then the third layer, after you have done the collected the information, you have to store it somewhere. For that you will be using the data storage. The data can be either big data, NoSQL data or structured query language data. All these types of data should be considered and stored. For that you will be using some systems which I mentioned here. Next, after that you have to do the processing for the final layer. Processing means you'll be using MapReduce, Hive, Pig or Spark. For that you'll be using the processing in real time, hybrid or batches and scheduled times. You'll be processing means making the data more better and finalize the data. After that, in the last layer you'll be exporting the data and using it for visualization and processing and reports and representation and discovery. Okay, for that it's the final layer, which is the data consumption layer. If you want more information, some key points I have mentioned here as well, you can go through it. Okay, that was about the third important question, which is about the big data architecture, super important question. So practice it very well. Next we have a pretty simple question, yet very super important, which is big data management and analysis. This you have to understand it by using common sense only. There is no need to memorize all these points, because it's just having some few key points. Like for example, that managing of information means enabling the controlling, protecting and delivering and enhancing the data. For that it includes data assets creation, management and protection, governance of data, data architecture creation, maintenance of the data, managing data security, managing data quality. Just read one word of each sentence, because there are so many sentences. You can form so many sentences from reading first word of each sentence. Data collection, managing document, creation of reference, application integration. I just literally read these things. You will have at least 5 things in mind. By 5 things you can write 50 things in one script, right? How do you manage the data? First create the data, process it, maintain it, make it secure, make it viewable and make it understandable, remove the redundant data. Like that, just you have to fill the answer script. Done. It's very important question from exam point of view. Make sure you know it very well. Next important question is the steps in pre-processing. Very easy question. Pre-processing also, it requires the same thing. If you have something useless, you will be removing it. Remember the word removing, okay, because that's what you're doing here. Dropping out of range inconsistent outlier values. Tell me, how is this sentence different from this one? Filtering unreliable, irrelevant and redundant information. Again removing here also. Here also cleaning, editing, reduction, wrangling. Again removing. Here also validation, transformation, transcoding. You are removing some useless things, validating it, transforming it. Again removing, ELT processing. So the main keyword is removing. Removing the useless data in the form of different synonyms they have written. That also you can write in different synonyms and fetch nice marks. And more information regarding that, what is cleaning, what is the enrichment of data, adding the more relevant data in that and making it more accessible and more reducing and transforming into the appropriate structures. And the formats used are as follows, like CSV and JSON formats for the representation purpose. That is the first step in the pre-processing. Once you have done the pre-processing, you'll be going to the like the processing thing. Okay, so that was about the data pre-processing. Moving on, we have the next super important question, which is data export to cloud. Before exporting to cloud, you have to do some things like data collection. After that, you are analyzing the data. After that, you are mining the data, getting the report, importing it, then you are exporting that one. So that was just data steps present here. This architecture you can make in your own way. The main things are pretty simple here. Data storage. First store the data. After the data store, if it is in the nice format, you can export it, or you have to do data mining, analysis, report visualization, integration with the report and the enterprise warehouse. Analysis is done, and after all that, it is sent to cloud. The arrows are present here, it is coming here, but this doesn't make sense. It just goes to the cloud because the question is exporting to the cloud. Just that you need to make some connection within the architecture and keep it in your mind. You will get the marks. That's all we are concerned about. Okay, so here is some more information about cloud, like what are the services it offers, what are the advantages of cloud, and which are the companies using cloud and web services for its export of the big data. Okay, so you can go through that. Last important super important question from module 1, which is applications of big data. What are the applications where all big data is used? Like this only you can tell: finance, education, marketing and hospital. Okay, these 4 are the super important things. By that you can form many things. Okay, like for example, big data in marketing and sales. Marketing and sales means what? If one person comes to our market, what all the person is supposed to buy, or what he is expected to buy. How is that found? Based on the previous data, what all he has bought, right? Based on that only we will be able to decide whether the person will be buying something or not. There is only here marketing and sales. What the person is most likely to buy, that will be shown to him more. Okay, and big data in analysis of marketing and fraud. Where all fraud has happened in history, what were the patterns observed? If some pattern is again repeating, it's most likely to happen a crime again. So that's how you detect if there is a fraud or not. Then we have in credit card risk management. Identify the persons who are rich and they don't pay money in time. Those are the persons who will take the money and go away, or the persons who are having the greater risk of not paying. What are their backgrounds? All these things are stored in the big data, and it's used in the analysis of credit card risk management. Lastly, healthcare and medicine. Here we can have the patient's records and observation of the patients. How is the patient in the different conditions? Based on that we can see what is the solution for the patient's disease, and we can suggest to that and do the operation or something, right? And we have advertising also, like advertising where all the big data is used, how to show the relevant ad to the persons who are interested in that. Okay, that is also happened by the big data. This marks the end of the module 1. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.